Today we talk with Harrison Mallory, who owns Scumbags, the barber shop I go to. There's a lot I love about Scumbags, including the fact that it's a business that's not trying to please everyone.
We like the people that don't have a place. We like the scumbags of the world. Noosa's got a lot of, let's call them high-end individuals that like high-end stuff, and they're probably not going to enjoy our shop, so the name's great deterrent.
Yes, it's the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show, thanks to American Express.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to your weekly dose of marketing madness. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, you're a motivated business owner and you are ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Today's 431st episode is made exclusively possible thanks to our mates at American Express. To see how your business expenses can reward you, Google Amex Business after the show. Now, today we are joined by the fellow who owns the barber shop I go to in Noosa, a self-confessed weapon when it comes to creating exceptional customer experiences. Plus, his business growth story is pretty damn inspiring. Speaking of inspiring business growth stories, listener Cameron Harris shares a story of growth of his fish tank cleaning business in the Monster Prize Draw. And this week's Jingle of the Week is for any hungry little human beings out there. That's a hint in itself. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Now, I've had a few emails lately from listeners asking if I'd interview more very small business owners, not in height, as in, size of their business, as opposed to those that have already made it big. People like Andrew Banks from Shark Tank and Carolyn Creswell from Carmen's Muesli. What I'm hearing is there's much to be learnt from the smaller guys who may be a bit more relatable to where many of you are at in your own precious businesses. And after all, the show isn't called the Small Business Big Marketing Show for nothing, is it? So to that end, let's meet Harrison Mallory, the owner of Scumbags Barber Shop in Noosa, where I get my hair cut. Some say it's a good cut. Others, just laugh me out the door. I like it. And I love the Scumbags experience. You feel part of a small community. The service is red hot. It's clear just how much effort Harrison and his team put into the customer experience, and you actually walk away with a damn good haircut. I started off by asking Harrison how a big, burly, hairy bloke like himself got involved in hairdressing.
Well, there's a lot of women in hairdressing, so it's a pretty easy course to navigate when you're 17 and trying to work out what you want to do in life.
Right, so it was purely driven by hormones?
Yeah, go with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
No. I grew up in a rural town, so it was a bit different up there, but my uncle was a hairdresser as well, and I got to go to a big hair show with him one night, and there's a couple of hundred girls running around in knickers, and I thought, this is pretty good. I could get into this for a living.
Is that show still on, just out of interest?
Yeah, no.
Damn. What do you love about the industry?
Oh, there's pretty much nothing you couldn't love. You get to talk to people all day. My job feels like this. I turn up to work, I get to hang out with my mates. My mates come in for a haircut, and then they give me money and leave. So it's pretty good.
It is a bit like that. I must say, going into Scumbags, it certainly doesn't feel like, for you it doesn't feel like going into a shop. For me as a client, it doesn't feel like I'm going into a shop, actually. It just feels like I'm going into someone's lounge room almost.
Yeah, that was the goal. So the original plan with the shop was it sort of felt like your dad's mate's garage, and then you were just there to have a beer and hang out. But,
mate, I like that.
Yeah.
I want to explore that in greater detail shortly, but first, I'm kind of interested to see how you ended up starting and running a business called Scumbags.
Yeah.
You went and worked in corporate for a number of years for a big hairdressing company.
So started out cutting my teeth as a hairdresser, got to a pretty high level hairdressing, really got over that. Went into the corporate side of it.
What's high level as a hairdresser? Like a better pair of scissors, or what does that mean?
No, managing big high-end shops and training people and
Got it.
doing the sort of top end of town as far as hairdressing goes.
Okay, so you jump ship and go into a cubicle, as I would describe it.
Cubicle? No, on the road sales-wise, but the sales role I was in was sort of multitask. So we'd sit down with business owners and do a little bit of open books and help them with strategies, and we got trained very well in that background. Mm-hmm. So that was a good backbone to being able to start a business.
It is a good backbone. I too spent a lot of time in my early years in corporate, and as much as it jarred, I never felt really like I belonged there. I look back at it now and I go, geez, I learned some good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you realise what you know until you walk away from it and you've got to implement it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. So how long did you last in the well, it wasn't a cubicle, but out on the road for a big company?
6 years.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, so went all right.
How long before you got the itch into those 6 years of wanting to start your own business?
Oh, it's a morbid but good story. So I found out I had a heart condition, like a pretty significant one. The advice I got from my doctor was just treat every day like it's your last for a while until we figure what's going on here, because it could be very high risk, could be very low risk. And in a 3-month window, my wife and I got married when I did an overseas holiday. It's probably the first real holiday I'd ever had in my life. And got back and went, we're working way too hard for our money. Let's just open a little tiny shop, do it for us, no other intentions, just something relaxed, Monday to Friday. We're home at night, having a good life. So that's where it was born.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Were you out of the clear by the time in terms of your health condition, by the time you left corporate?
Got cleared a month and a half ago.
That's a high five right there, buddy.
Cheers.
How's that feel?
Yeah, good. So I had 3 heart surgeries, and it was electrical related, but they've been able to cure it, so it's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a sparkle in your eye.
Oh, it was a good day after that.
Just tell me more about that. Is it? Do you literally have a moment where you go, life is short, do what you love, don't stuff around?
Yeah, a bit. I didn't tell anyone that when I first found out, because obviously people panic. But it was for 3 months you could drop dead, or it might never affect you, and it could be anywhere in between. So you do kind of think about not waiting till retirement to do things. So owning a business was a bit of a goal. That's one that I kicked straight off. Got married to my wife pretty quick.
Goal?
Goal.
Was she one of the ladies at the hairdressing conferences that you attended with your uncle?
No, she was an employee of mine at one of the hairdressing.
She was.
Yeah. Worked out all right for her though. So
you know what they say about not doing something in your backyard.
Yeah. I don't think we can swear on this show, but there's something about where you eat that you could.
Yeah, that's right. Many people want to run their own business. What for you was the appeal? Was it lifestyle? Was it the ability to be your own boss? Were you going to make $1 million?
No intention to make a big living. It was more of a going to work, going home, enjoying your time off. So that was the goal. We were both working 60 plus hours a week in our corporate role. She was doing the same kind of work, and we'd pass each other in the hallway on the weekend, and she'd go away one week, I'd go away the next. So we spent weekends together for about 4 years, and we just got over that. So,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
You could argue that starting your own business, given you had a heart condition, would be more stressful than just relaxing into a corporate job and going home at night and turning off.
It wasn't a relaxing corporate job, that's for sure.
None of them are.
No. Look, it was probably way less stressful. Cutting hair's not rocket science. If you follow the rules and do it well, it's easy.
Mate, I've had some bad haircuts in a day.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, it can be done.
Yes.
But look, if you follow the basic principles, too many people skip the basic principles, and that's where they go wrong. You follow the basics, be a really friendly person. You couldn't go too wrong.
Give me the basics. Give me the top 3.
Top 3 basics. Do your training. Don't learn from YouTube is probably number 1.
No one would do that, would they?
I've interviewed well over 150 people in the last 4 years, and the amount that I've learnt off YouTube is absolutely phenomenal. And if you've not done your trade or your training under someone, you don't learn the core skills. It just shows through the moment they go to do a haircut in front of you. That's the number 1 thing. Number 2, understand your profession. So don't turn up like a rock star every day and make it about you, make it about the customer. You're there to service people.
You got a couple of rock stars working for you, but
Oh.
we'll talk about them later.
In their own world, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about, I like that. It's about them, not you.
Yeah. And we're in the service industry. If you don't want to service people and make their experience good, don't get into the industry. So,
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
I think the interview's done. Describe the first iteration of your first small business. What did it look like? What was it called?
Scumbags was born just over 4 years ago now, and we rented a very, very small shed out the back of the industrial park and a bit of a...
In Noosa?
Yeah, in Noosa, but probably in the most quiet, dead-end part of the industrial park. It's since changed quite a lot. We opened a shop that we just wanted to see tradie guys coming in on their lunch break through the day at a convenient time. And, it was real simple. We had beer in the fridge. I brought the couch in from home. We did this thing without any banks or anything like that. It was just a little bit of a gleam in your eye and a bit of hope. And it just snowballed from there. I think we hit our 20 to 30 a day in the first 4 months.
Wow.
And this is from nothing. We never cut hair in the town in Noosa where the shop's based before. So from the first day we opened, we had no one in because no one knew about us. Mm-hmm. And day number 2, I think we got the signs up properly, and I think we had 2 people come through the door. And that's all it takes is those 2 people to go tell 4 other people. And then, the snowball takes effect.
Did you have a vision for what Scumbags would be? Now it's much more than a rough shop. It's a total experience. But back then, when you say rough, was it what, just a chair and a mirror and a place to get your hair cut?
We... to say we built the shop on a budget is a complete understatement. I went thrift shop shopping. I went dump shop shopping. We built the whole shop out of recycled material. There wasn't anything new.
Brilliant.
So I think we built the shop fit for $5,000. Right? I've got a lot more than $5,000 invested into the new shop.
You have.
But that's where our beginnings came from. And we just tried to listen to the customer and we just followed that. And
when you say we, was your wife working in the business?
She was. She started out doing 2 days a week.
Cutting,
yep. And I think she was filling in for a friend at a local wholesaler hairdressing supply shop for about 3 days a week just to help us make ends meet while it grew. But by the end of that 4 months, she was on the floor full time with me.
How fantastic. Was it like working with your wife?
Oh, I've done that for a bit. That's I wouldn't recommend it if you have never worked with her prior to your relationship. But if we work very well together.
Where'd the name Scumbags come from?
Oh, that's the customers we like. We like the people that don't have a place. We like the scumbags of the world. So
I love it.
The dirty tradies, the kids with somewhere to sort of identify with.
Nice.
So Noosa's got a lot of, let's call them high-end individuals that like high-end stuff, and they're probably not going to enjoy our shop. So the name's great deterrent to get them to go to the right shop.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. The other good thing about the name, and I should probably explain how we got solid on this name. My dad has a master's in marketing, and pretty much everything he suggested, we've gone and done the opposite. Not that was intentional. It was just he was saying things, and I just thought everyone does this. We've got to do something different. So if you Google search barbershop in Noosa, and you see the word Scumbags Barber Shop, people get intrigued. They click on it, and we have a really high online presence just from people being inquisitive and wanting to click on the link.
Love it. What did your dad want to call it? Quaff?
No, he just said just call it barbershop and just put Noosa at the end of it. Like don't complicate things, and it makes sense.
He did a whole marketing in masters in order to give you that advice. Where is he? Get him in.
It's good advice. It's good advice, but we just like to be different. So
it's terrible advice. There's 2 schools of thought. I mean, barbershop, Noosa barbershop, it's going to probably Google pretty well because it's got some keywords in it, but it lacks a little bit of interest.
Yeah.
Personality.
And that's, if you look at a lot of places, that's probably where they go wrong in the hair industry. They're either trying to have a really catchy hair-related name or they're very blank and plain. So there's nothing you don't walk away and you remember the name at a lot of hairdressing salons or barbershops.
I don't often talk to my guests about the font they've chosen for their logo, but with all due respect, Harrison, and you're a bigger bloke than me in some respects, you've used a medieval font, and I put it alongside Comic Sans as 2 of the worst fonts going around.
Okay, so the original logo for the shop, this will probably make sense really quickly. My wife is covered head to toe in tattoos, and she developed our first logo. So it was a pair of knuckles holding a scissors and comb with the word Scumbags written on the knuckles in Old English writing.
There you
like
go.
a lot of the old, let's call them questionably non-crime related people would probably normally have as a scumbag on their knuckles.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll with that. That's our text.
I love it. And please tell your wife that I love the logo because she sounds pretty scary.
Oh, yeah, she is scary.
I'm Timbo Reid, and you're listening to the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show thanks to American Express. What was the most challenging part of setting up Scumbags for you?
Probably taking that leap of faith. I was walking away from quite a well-paying job, very comfortable lifestyle, doing what I did, but just to sort of have that financial freedom away from everything else was a real big question in your mind. But, it's worked out the right way for us. So,
Yeah, that leap of faith is huge. I mean, it holds a lot of people back from doing a whole lot of things, really.
yeah.
Do you now look back at that? Clearly you do now because Scumbags has some modicum of success about it. But do you look back at the time when you were fearing leaving corporate and going, geez, what was I worried about?
No, I work really hard still. No, look, it's what you want it to be. I mean, any small business owner, they have months where they get paid, they have months where they don't. You can't look at it like that. You've got to look at it like, the ship's in the right direction, it's sailing the right way, and you've got to be in love with what you're doing, I think, if you're a small business owner. If you don't love it, it's time to think about something different.
Great advice. Is there any aspect of your business that you don't love?
No. We've made a big effort to make it the shop we want.
So let's paint a picture of Scumbags for those who aren't lucky enough to visit it or have seen it.
You walk in the front door and I've got this big burly looking guy. His name's Tommy. You will hear him from about 3 kilometres away. He stands at the front of the shop and just says hello to anyone that walks past unless he's cutting hair. And if he's cutting hair having a conversation, no one else in the room can hear anything because Tommy's so loud. But Tommy is the most genuine, nice guy you'd ever meet in the world.
He's awesome. He has the ability, when I walk in, like you kind of, when you walk into a shop, you kind of, I don't know, you're not quite prepared for whatever's going to happen. Tommy literally almost comes bouncing out of the ceiling. How are you, Timmy? What's going on? Sit down. Haircut, beer.
If they could bottle what Tommy has and sell
It's called drugs.
Oh, well, we got a policy on that, but I don't think we've ever checked. No, look, we learnt very on. Put a coffee machine out the back because caffeine does wonderful things.
Yes.
And I think my guys have all had about 7 cups of coffee by the time the doors open, so they're all pretty buzzed up.
I love a haircutter with a shaking hand.
Yeah.
So look, there's a Harley out the front. You walk in, there's bloody rock posters and all sorts of posters all over the place. There's some pretty funky looking people who are your staff, including Tommy and a couple of ladies.
We've got Tommy, we've got Nat, Hatsy and Emma, and my wife's Ashley, and then there's obviously myself.
Yeah, you're out of it if you haven't got a tattoo, so I do feel particularly out of it.
Yeah, everyone's got a tattoo.
They have, mate. It's like prerequisite. Can you do that in a job interview?
Oh.
Have you got any ink? No, you have. Oh, sorry, you haven't got the job.
Yeah, people get bent out of shape over that stuff, don't they?
And, when you build a strong brand like you have, and you probably don't even know what that means, but, that's marketing speak. Ask your dad. But what you do is you attract the right people and you repel the wrong people, right? And kind of just a great brand helps sort things out.
We've never been afraid to say no to the wrong work. And by the wrong work, it's probably hard to get into as a definition without you being a hairdresser or a barber, but we want the customers that want to come in because it only takes one bad customer in the chair of one of my staff to upset their whole day, and that has like a bit of a snowball effect on everyone's experience with that particular barber for the rest of the day. So we don't want to deter people from coming in, but we want them to know the kind of shop they're walking into before they even get through the front door.
Do you sit down with your staff and talk about this is what the customer experience is when someone comes into Scumbags?
I'm an absolute control freak with customer experience, and I micromanage that like crazy. Try and do it in a way that the guys are receiving the right tools to do their job well. So we like a lot of positive channeling with their training and their direction, and we have incentives for them to do that. So they've all learnt that that's a very enjoyable workspace as well. And I think the guys feed off everyone in the room. So if everyone's having a good day, the whole room's buzzing. and the customers just love that. I like people to walk into my shop and walk out feeling like the haircut was a secondary part, the experience and that feel when you walk out.
I got to say, I mean, that's why I got you in. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I was so mesmerised by the times that I've been in. I'm going, what is happening here? What is the secret herbs and spices that you are using at Scumbags to create this whole, dare I say, vibe, which sounds like very something out of the Castle. It's just the vibe. It's the vibe.
Yeah.
Your micromanage customer experience.
Yeah.
Take us inside what that looks like in Harrison's mind.
So, okay, right from the interview process, we will take on anyone with any experience level if they can get the customer experience right. And I'm very black and white with that when guys come in and do their trial. So we basically say, if you can't say a big hello and a big goodbye and just a big smile on your face, because if you're happy, that everyone replicates that feeling you've got.
Yep.
If you can't do that, it's going to be a hard space to work in. So if you can adopt it on your trial, that's basically the key thing we look for. We can fix the haircut side of things. Haircutting's not rocket science. It's a trade. It's trainable. But getting the right attitude, that's the hard one. So we basically can pick out someone doing the big hello and the big goodbye as the right person or the wrong person from us within the first hour of them being on a trial. And every day, if they forget to do it, one of the other team members will remind them.
Well, again, it's like it's a bit. You've got the Japanese restaurant thing happening because you walk in and everyone says hello, and when you walk out, all your staff say goodbye.
Yeah,
it's like in unison.
We just don't scream Japanese profanities to people. That's the only difference.
Well, if you did, I wouldn't know anyway because I don't speak Japanese. Have you actually documented? I've had a guest on prior, and I often quote this fellow Josh Nichols, who owns an electricians franchise down in New South Wales, and he has a 21-step customer mantra that every single one of his Sparkies must tick all 21 boxes when they go on site.
Yep.
Right? Really simple stuff like park out in the street, don't park in the driveway, be on time, stuff like this.
Yep.
Have you got anything like that for Scumbags?
We have a procedures manual.
It's very non-scumbagish.
we don't put it on paper and hand it to the employees because we want everyone to still be themselves. So what I try and do is bring out the best in that particular employee and let them be them, because I don't want them being someone they're not, but it's just channeling the right bit of their personality out in the room. So everyone in my shop is different personality, and they're all big personalities. Some are quiet people, some are loud people. I let the loud people be loud, I let the quiet people be quiet, and the customers that like those people will generally gravitate towards that particular barber long term. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of requests in the shop, which I love, because that just means they're really bonded with that barber.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've only ever had my hair cut by Tommy when I've been to your place, and I am kind of leaves me wondering what would it be like to go to one of the others. So
then you feel like you're cheating on Tommy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sleeping around. I have to apologise to him as I go in.
Yeah, no,
not today, Tommy.
He get him at lunchtime, and he won't care. He'll be like, yeah, Tim, jump in Emma's chair. Yeah, that's fine today. I'm going to go have my ramen noodles out the back.
Tom doesn't eat ramen noodles.
Oh, I loves them.
Oh, he doesn't look like a ramen noodles kind of
He
guy to me.
loves them.
Looks like a burger and chips kind of guy. If ever there was
He's not,
one.
though.
There you go. Do you allow your staff to input if they see an opportunity to improve an experience or to do something differently?
Absolutely. And the shop's always
Do you
evolving.
think they feel like they could?
Yeah, 100%. And we welcome that. Like, if anything makes their job easy, or if anything can improve the shop, we will take that on with open arms. Mm-hmm. The shop has changed so much since the day we opened. I mean, we don't even offer the same services now.
Well, you've moved. We should indicate that you have moved. You've left the industrial estate. You're now on the main drag up to the main part of Noosa, so you got a lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic. Yeah, it's grown exponentially.
I don't think that's a word.
It might not be. Look, it's crazy how much the shop has grown since we've relocated. We were hoping for the volume of people we're getting now at Christmas time.
Wow.
Yeah. So Christmas is, we're probably going to have to try and hire another person.
You got space?
Yeah, we do.
You're going to outgrow that space by the sounds of things.
No, I'll knock the back wall out. We don't need washing machines.
There you go. Yeah. Out the back. Don't put your prices up. I think you're really well priced, by the way.
Yeah, we're price sensitive, that's for sure. I like everyone to feel like they can access the shop. I don't want to outprice people. So we very tightly manage the guys' times so that they're cost efficient for us as employers.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest place a lot of shops let themselves down. They spend too long on work they're not charging it correctly for. But all my guys have been really good at some areas in their craft and really poor in others. So part of my job is to sort of make sure they're meeting their quota for haircuts in a day and sticking within the time frames that our price menu reflects.
There's another thing that you do that caught my eye, which I call the 1%ers. The 1%er is, would you like a beer? First question you get asked, which is nice. You know, I know a lot of barbershops do that these days, but, you know, low cost to you, high perceived cost to me, the customer, tick the box. Another thing you do is you wrap a hot towel around my head. I have no idea why you do it. Sometimes I think Tommy's going through my wallet as I got the towel around my head, but it feels good and I'm happy for that to happen. Again, are these any other 1%ers that I haven't experienced yet? And where do these come from?
Oh, look, this is traditional barbering. We offer everyone a beer because I've just never worked in a place that doesn't do that. And I think we're the first on the coast to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I could be wrong there, but I think we were the first on the coast to do it. And then everyone was blown away by it. I'm going, what do you mean you've never had a beer with your haircut? Wait, have you lived? I've never worked in a shop that wouldn't offer you a beer.
Well, it is a bit awkward because you've got to, in order to drink, you've got to tip. I suppose you get coffee and tea at other hairdressers, but you kind of got to, you know, put your head back. Tommy, just hang on, mate. I'm going to have a swig. And
look, they're used to it. If people pick up their beer, we just pause for a second, let you have your drink, and we're so used to it.
What other 1%ers?
Look, the hot towel, we do a hot towel and a back of the neck shave on every single haircut, even the little kids. Like if I got a 1-year-old that sits still enough, we'll do that.
Really?
Yeah, my young fella, he's 1, and we've done his neck a couple of times. But, you know, you got to pick and choose who you do that on. Obviously, it's dangerous.
Yes.
But, most people love that experience. The kids love the hot towel and the neck shave.
It's brilliant.
We cut like barbers, not like hairdressers. That's probably something that's been lost over the years, but I've learnt both trades, and there's a lot of people that have learnt both trades now. But the original old Greek barber that taught me was very, very old school barber, so he couldn't introduce hairdressing to what he did. Long story short, on how to describe it for the listeners, hairdressers generally hold hair in their fingers and cut through their fingers. Barbers don't touch hair, they blunt cut completely through their scissors.
Right.
Yeah, so
they don't touch hair.
No. So back in the day, I mean, barbering 40, 50 years ago is very different to what barbering is now. But barbering 40 or 50 years ago, guys are dirty and filthy. The barbers didn't want to touch them or they get infections if they cut themselves. So the haircut was performed completely through the comb. So you didn't actually touch your customer.
I'm going to be able to say to Tommy, if he touches my... Tommy, don't touch my hair!
There's some applications where you've got to revert back to some hairdressing skills because there's new looks and modern take on what it used to be. But my guys should 95% of the time cut traditional barber haircuts on everyone.
A friend of mine, Amanda, who was a co-host on a show just a couple of weeks ago, had Bill from Hey Bill on the show, you know, down at Noosa Main Beach. The guy who sells the shaved ice.
With a big moustache.
With the moustache. Yeah. Amanda's written a fantastic blog post of recent times about ceremony and the fact that businesses that create ceremony around what they're selling will often do better because it gets people emotionally engaged. And there is an element of ceremony as you go into Scumbags, you know, the putting on of the, what do you call it, the apron or the, what do you put on your...
T-shirt?
No, as a customer.
The cutting cake. Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah. But there is. You sort of feel like something special is about to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And look, everyone follows that same process. It doesn't matter whose chair you sit in. Everyone's identical. You know you're about to get your hair cut, and you should feel very good from the moment you sit in the chair. You should have a lot of confidence in the person that's doing the haircut on you. I'd like to think that no one would ever get in the chair and feel quite nervous like they're getting someone less experienced than what they need to do the job. And if someone doesn't walk out with a smile on their face and I'm standing on the front desk, we've not hit the nail on the head on that ceremony, that experience.
Here's a money-making tip from American Express member and Four Pillars Gin founder, Stu Gregor.
I, for the life of me, don't understand why a business won't accept Amex, because what you're potentially doing is knocking back customers who want to spend money on your product. or your brand or your service or whatever it is. And I frankly don't understand it. If someone wants to give me their Amex and buy 10 bottles of gin, I'll tell you what, I'll take their Amex, thanks very much. You're potentially also denying yourself a big chunk of corporate business as well. You know, because a lot of sales guys, a lot of guys, I know me in my own business, I use Amex, and if I go to, if I ring to make a booking at a restaurant or a bar or something, and I say, do you accept Amex? And they say no, I go somewhere else. So they don't even know the business they're missing out on. It beggars belief. And I often find myself having these rather awkward conversations at the with a shopkeeper or a bar owner or a restaurateur saying, why wouldn't you take it? I'll pay you the extra. I'll pay 1.5, the credit card service fee or whatever you want. Take my money.
It's Business 101, really. Make it easy for people to give you money. Speaking of money, the American Express Business Explorer credit card comes with 50,000 bonus points every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the very swish Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport. Search Amex Business to find out more. New American Express card members only. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks to American Express, we're chatting with Scumbags Barber Shop owner Harrison Mallory. You're a good boss. Do people like working for you? I'm getting scared of you.
I hope so.
Well, we'll soon find out.
We haven't had anyone quit yet, so that's probably a good start.
I've got your staff. Come in, guys.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. I walked in the other day. It was Hawaiian Shirt Friday.
How good's Hawaiian Friday?
Pretty good. I felt like a bit of a dick because I just come from a walk or a jog or something, so I looked anything but a scumbag.
I tell you what, since we started doing Hawaiian Friday, this is a new thing at the new shop. And I turned up to work one Friday without a Hawaiian shirt on. I went, what's going on? They went, we've just nominated today's Hawaiian Friday from now on. I went, all right, I'll go with it.
Love it.
And it's we've now have customers turning up in their numbers wearing their Hawaiian shirts. It's great.
Mate, I was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago and I've had a jacket made with a Hawaiian beach scene on it. It's got an old FJ Holden. It's got longboards. It's got palm trees. I'll have to wear it in one Friday.
You'll have to wear it in. We're thinking about even doing an extra service for people on Fridays that wear their Hawaiian shirt. We're trying to work that out at the moment. But
right.
yeah.
What kind of extra service?
I don't know.
Not happy ending type.
Hopefully not.
No.
There's too many blokes working in the shop.
There is. Your marketing that you do, I'm going to get you. You're going to say word of mouth. You know, get 2 people in, they tell 2, and you got 4, all that kind of stuff. You got a great location, so you got lots of traffic, both foot and driving by. Are you doing anything else to embed yourself in the local community?
We've probably financially we spend a lot of money on marketing, and we try to be active in the community as well. Being active in the community is a hard thing to measure because you're only visibly seen by the people that are seen. But you know, we like to get out there and do some good services for some people, and we've partaked in some community service over the years. A little bit different to what normal marketing is, but I think Noosa locals value that sort of stuff very highly.
Well, it's a small town at the end of the day, so
it is.
You said you drop a bit of dough financially in marketing.
Yeah,
where?
A little bit different to what most people would spend money on. Like we call our beer budget marketing because that is marketing.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And that's quite a big budget. We go through a lot of beer. I think last year it was getting close to $20,000 worth of beer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of beer for a little shop. But we also spend a lot of money on stickers. And stickers have been a major part of the success for just the awareness. We've had some local artists draw up some great logos over the years, and we've got a really good sticker guy who produces really high quality vinyl wrapped stickers for cars.
Cool.
So they will last 4 to 5 years before they start looking a little bit ratty over something cheap that you get overseas.
You mean a big sticker?
Yeah, like we're talking palm of your hand or a little bit bigger. So not crazy big bumper sticker stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we've spent about 10 grand on stickers all up.
And you're giving them away or selling them?
Giving them all away.
You got a bit of merch too, haven't you? Got T-shirts and caps.
That's new stuff.
Okay.
That's slow starts.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I imagine if the sticker works, why wouldn't a merch T-shirts or apparel work?
It's giveaway. People like free stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
My dad, the marketing guy, he
doesn't know, mate.
No,
he doesn't know.
He told me a story way back when we first opened, and it was a bit of an eye opener. He was talking about the bank he uses. It's one of the big 4.
Yeah.
And he got his nose out of joint with them one day because they were doing a big new client drive, and they were giving all this free stuff away and better rates. And he wrote them a letter online and said, "Hey, look, I've been with you guys for 40 years, and I've spent a lot of money with you in that time. How about you offer me that same rate? And they basically wrote back to him and said, sorry, mate, that's a new customer drive. That's not for existing customers. And
See you later.
He changed banks over that. And
Yeah.
lesson learnt, look after the ones you got, not the ones you want. And the ones you've got will bring in the ones you want.
Nice.
So we spend our money on our existing customers with our marketing budget rather than trying to get the new ones.
I take everything back that I said about your old man. That one bit of advice is genius.
Yeah, look, sometimes it pays to have a beer with your old man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Worst haircut you've ever had to give?
Probably mine.
You haven't got much.
That's right. It's normally in the shower at home. No one gives me a haircut at work anymore.
Right. Trends?
I don't really follow them. We just
Right.
sort of, we stick to the core barbering basics.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd like to think we're pretty far from the hipstery sort of shop that you'd
Yeah, you
generally
probably don't
find.
want to get there, do you?
No.
Anyone tattooed scumbags on themselves?
Yeah.
I would have thought they have. How many?
Oh, we've got this amazing story. Only one we know of. We had this this guy come into the shop back when early days, like I'm talking first 6 to 12 months we were open, and he was morbidly ill. He was just come out of radiation care, and they basically said you've only got a little bit longer to live. So his daughter brought him in. Daughter flew over from England, and they brought him in to get a haircut, and he had such a good experience. And I hooked him up with some mates of mine. So I got him in for a few experiences. I got him into his first tattoo, got him into a few other little things like that because I got some friends in those areas. And with his first tattoo, he got the Scumbags logo tattooed on his knuckles.
Wow.
Yeah, he just had such a good time. And the guy bounced back for a little while. He looked really good for about 3 months, and he came and got a few haircuts. And unfortunately, it all happens to all of us. He, passed on.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a cool old dude. He even asked to have an open casket with his knuckles pointing up. It was just the coolest story.
That's a wonderful story.
So we got Bill up on the wall in the shop. He holds
must
very
have
high
looked for
ranking
Bill.
in our area.
Any other tattoos?
I've heard of some, but I haven't seen them all. But
I've
not
heard
the knuckles.
There is a business I interviewed many years ago. It was a martial arts business in Canada somewhere, and she offered lifetime training to anyone who was willing to get her logo tattooed on their body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lifetime haircuts for a Scumbags tattoo?
No. God, no.
Good on you. No way.
No, I'd get anything tattooed on me for something free. Like, there have to be a lot of people like me.
Well, you got a bit of ink already, so it sort of doesn't matter. Your business in its current form has a ceiling in terms of growth. You can go at the back, you can add more seats, get rid of the washing machines. Franchise, license the idea out.
We've been approached for franchising
Have you?
countless times, yeah. The thing I hate seeing in our industry is so many people get sold a franchise and they get sold a dud. I think people that buy franchises in our industry have no ability to quality control the haircut. They can quality control the customer service side, but they can't understand what's being performed right. And we've basically put a blueprint together over the last 12 months if we did want to franchise it. But we would have to hold the owners accountable to learning to cut hair, because I couldn't let the brand go with one shop not offering the same level. I just couldn't do it.
It is such a risk with franchising because all what happens too is one bad franchisee does a bad job, and then the whole franchise name has got a bad name. So your image, so it's
I
a
am
tough
yet to see in our industry someone nail the franchise.
one. Right.
Yeah, and that just really comes down to the hair side of things.
Well, buddy, the chat with you confirmed everything I thought. You're running a fantastic business
Thank
that's
you.
grown out of nowhere, out of a little industrial estate. You love it.
Absolutely love it.
I'm going to be watching very closely as it continues to grow. As far as Tommy goes, I don't know. I'll just have to watch him, make sure he doesn't touch my hair going forward. and well done, Harrison. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks very much for your time, Tim.
Well, there you go, team. Harrison Mallory, the founder of Scumbags Barber Shop in Noosa. You can check him out over at scumbagsnoosa.com if you'd like to see their website or a couple of shots of inside their shop. And if you're in the area, go and get a mohawk over a quiet beer. That's what I do. Well, not a mohawk. I get a faux hawk. Hey, be sure to hang around after my top 3 attention grabbers as we hear from listener Cameron Harris, who's working hard to grow his business despite some very personal setbacks. But right now, my top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with Harrison, thanks to our good mates at American Express. Attention grabber number 1. I love that Harrison doesn't feel the need to appeal to everyone. Instead, he knows who his people are and he builds his brand, his marketing messages, and the whole customer experience basically around that niche. I love seeing businesses polarise. There's nothing wrong with it. Polarising can sound like a negative word, but why not appeal to those that you want to sell to and work with and let all the others go and find somewhere else? Brave, I know, worth a go. Attention grabber number 2. I love Harrison's attention to detail when it comes to creating an amazing customer experience. You know how much I love customer experiences. There's nothing wrong with being a control freak, as he sort of called himself, when creating this important aspect of your marketing. And attention grabber number 3, I love how Harrison injects fun into the Scumbags business. What a great name, by the way. I like the Hawaiian Shirt Fridays. Great idea. I know ideas like this can seem a little superficial. However, look at it in the context that life's serious, people are looking for opportunities to smile, and simple ideas like that create a welcome distraction. That's what grabbed my attention. Love to know what grabbed yours. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/431 and there you can let me know.
Come on down. It's Timbo's Monster Prize Draw.
Oh yes, indeedly doodly, it is time to reward a motivated listener for taking swift marketing action from an idea that they've heard in the show, applied in their business, and got a result from. Today's winner is Cameron Harris from Tank On Cleaning. He says, "Hey Tim." "Hey Cam. A little bit of background on my business. It's an aquarium fish tank installation and maintenance business, which I created 3 years ago out of desperation. You see, my wife had been experiencing ongoing and escalating health problems. Sorry to hear that, Cam. And my eldest son had been diagnosed with autism. Prior to her health declining, my wife had a party plan business with an Aussie company called Wooden Toy Box. Unfortunately, in our area of Melbourne, the products she was selling were available at half price through a shop, which is a bit of a bummer, but it didn't stop us giving it a red-hot crack. Because she was so unwell, quite often I would go to local markets to try and sell for her. But again, I believe the products were too expensive." Well, Cam, you have certainly given it a crack, mate. You certainly can't question your willingness to put all in. Cam goes on to say, "With the cost of this, my son's therapy and my wife's medical needs compounded by the party plan, we were drowning financially. So I thought, I'll see if I can try cleaning aquariums for cash. Everyone told me I was stupid, but I thought I can't lose." Good on you, mate. Those people who say you're stupid, well, they're just pointing a finger back at themselves. What do they say? When you're pointing a finger at someone, there's 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. Okay, but I can't lose. I've already got most of the stuff from my own aquariums, so the initial outlay was very small. Plus, I'm still working full-time, so I do it all after hours. I contacted a few aquariums that told me to go away, but that didn't deter me. I came across a local brand called Biotope, which made incredible aquarium water conditioners at a great price. So I contacted the owner. Good on you. Nice work. He was willing to supply me at a reduced price to earn profit off the products that I sold. So far, it works okay, but I'd love to sell more of the products, as I reckon they're really good. Anyway, Timbo, I started small, and within 6 months I had about 3 or 4 customers on a monthly basis that was giving a relatively small profit. I managed to sign on with a small local aquarium to service and install and maintain their customers' aquariums, which expanded my business from 4 to 15 customers. Like you're thinking. That's partnerships right there, Cam. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Since then, I have signed 2 more aquariums and has again grown my business 100% to the point that I've had to put on extra people. I'm still working full-time and managing the business after hours, plus doing maintenance myself. I just feel I need some help to refine the appearance of the business to increase the traffic and sales of my shop front on Facebook, plus bookings from my website. I know some of it from listening to your podcast and have a very limited budget, as most of my profit at the moment goes towards pulling us out of the financial poop on a monthly basis. Can you help me, Timbo?" I can, Cam. Well, you've already helped me, mate. I really appreciate the inspiration that you've shared in doing what you've done. You're kind of the reason I do what I do. You're inspired me, buddy. So this is what I would do if I were you, Cam. Firstly, well done on doing what you've done. So be sure to celebrate all the wins that you have to date. Take home a bottle of champagne and share it with that beautiful wife of yours and give each other a hug That's step one. Forget about the website and Facebook. They're absolute distractions for a business of yours at this point in time. The next thing I do is focus offline on partnerships and referrals. Now, this is what I do. Referral-wise, ask your existing clients, your 15 existing clients, to refer you on to their fish-owning friends. Then call them with an offer they can't refuse. If any of them take it up, overservice them and be sure to thank those who referred you. That's getting your referral program up and running. Send the people who did refer you a card or a little gift or something. Now, with partnerships, I want you to focus on partnerships, which you're already doing because you've hooked up with a local aquarium. I want you to connect with every aquarium and pet shop owner within a 10-kilometre radius, Cam. To increase your chances of getting through to them, send them some lumpy mail a few days before your phone call. I'm thinking a fun greeting card with a photo of a smiling fish, like a really funny photo of a smiling fish on it, and a few words from you. And you can get that card designed at somewhere like designcrowd.com. Use the /Timbo. That'll get you $100 off your brief. You'll find a graphic designer that's good at Photoshop, and they'll create you a great greeting card. Now, once you get in front of these aquarium owners, I'm suggesting just by phone. Face-to-face would be great, but your time, Paul. So once you get a meeting with them over the phone, present your business, detail your packages nice and simply, and make them a win-win offer that they can't refuse. All right, Cam? Now, that's a gift from me, buddy, to you to help you get that beautiful business of yours up and running. I also want to give you some prizes because this is the Monster Prize Draw. So you've won an Amex Lounge Pass to their international lounge at either the Melbourne or Sydney airport. That's valued at $33. A hamper from Ben's Bees. Thanks, Benny, for that. He's a listener of the show. I'll put a link in the show notes to Ben's business. That includes honey, tea towel, beeswax candles, all sorts of things. That's valued at $89. And Cam, you're going to get a backlink on the Small Business Big Marketing website, which is priceless. Now, thank you, Cam, for your email. Anyone else listening who'd love to share a marketing win that they've had as a result of this show and what it's done for their business, email me, tim@timreid.com.au. If I read it out on air, you win some prizes like Cam did and go into the draw to win a hot lap in a racing Porsche with past guest and racing car legend Steve Richards. And that's valued at $2,500, and I will announce the winner later this year. Okay, it's time for the advertising jingle of the week. This one is from 1981. What a good year that was. I think it was like in third year. No, it was at school. It's in year 9. Great year. This one's for baked beans and was written and sung by legendary Mike Brady, the bloke who wrote Up There Kazali, the famous Aussie rules anthem. But I do love this one. It's for SPC, Baked Beans and Spaghetti.
What is SPC, baked beans and spaghetti? A good way to start your day. SPC, baked beans and delicious spaghetti tastes as good they say. Just run along and sing along all day, or so it seems. Cause your SPC, baked beans and spaghetti, walk a little hill that way.
Oh yes, for hungry little human beings. That brings back a few memories. Another old TV ad, I must say, that takes me back when life was a whole lot simpler. You can watch the full ad over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/431. And if there's a jingle you reckon worthy of this segment, or maybe you've got a jingle for your own business, I'd love to hear it. Send me a note on Twitter at Timbo Reid, R-E-I-D. Well, that almost wraps up another episode of your favourite marketing podcast. At least I hope it is. Don't forget there is an entire back catalogue of interviews over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. A big thanks to American Express for sponsoring this episode. You can search Amex Business to find out how your business expenses can reward you. They've got some great charge cards for a business like yours, and you can earn some pretty good points and go and reward yourself with a little holiday if you like. If you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, then let another business owner know about it by grabbing their phone and downloading it for them. Do that once a day for the next 5 days. Love you forever. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.